You've been living under a rock. Disney took a $1.5 billion stake in Epic Games to work with the Fortnite maker on new content. Disney is investing in almost $2 billion for a stake in Epic Games. CEO Bob Iger said Wednesday, in its biggest bet yet on the gaming space. The media giant will work with the Fortnite studio to create new games in an entertainment universe where consumers can play, watch, shop, and engage with content, characters, and stories from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and more, Disney said to the press, with a heavy emphasis on that third word, shop. Disney did not say what the evaluation of Epic, a private company, would be after the media's company's funding. In an interview with CNBC, Julia Boorstin Iger called the investment probably our biggest foray into gaming ever, which I think is not only timely, but an important step when you look at the demographic trends and where Gen Alpha and Gen Z and even millennials are spending their time in media, he said. The partnership comes after Disney had success licensing figures such as Spider-Man for blockbuster video games and collaborated with Epic to bring characters from Marvel, Star Wars, The Night Before Christmas, Tron, and more to Fortnite. Any more here? Fortnite has recently collaborated with LEGO for a survival crafting game within the gaming platform similar to Minecraft. It also launched Fortnite Festival, a rhythm game from Harmonix, which created the game Rock Band. Classic, by the way. I loved Rock Band. Probably more than, I don't know if this is a controversial opinion. I think I like, shout out to Manly with the sub. I think I liked Rock Band more than Guitar Hero, and I loved Guitar Hero too when it was like in its heyday, but I think it was like the social aspect of like Rock Band, because I'm not a fucking weirdo. The social aspect. Who played Rock Band? I used to sing. Disney was one of the first companies to believe in the potential of bringing their worlds together with our worlds in Fortnite, and they used the Unreal Engine across their portfolio, said Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney in a statement. Now we're collaborating on something entirely new to build a persistent, open, and what is this word? I don't know what this means, how to pronounce this shit. Interoperable? Is that how you say that shit? Something can be used or operated in a reciprocal way. Okay, so it's a two-way street, basically. Interesting. This is interesting because I don't know, man. Fortnite metaverse. All right. I'm leaning more towards this could be bad. What up, Samurai Jack? Yo, that's fucking funny. This nigga's name is Black Samurai Jack, and he said, much love from Detroit. I appreciate the love, but I'm not gonna lie, your name being Samurai Jack. Shout out to Nori the God with the sub. Your name being Samurai Jack and you being from Detroit is fucking funny. That's very fitting. Because remember, like, Samurai Jack traveled and like the land was like fucked up and he had to save it, like Detroit's fucked up. Anyways, I'm leaning more towards this could be bad. And the reason being is like, look what happened when Disney bought Star Wars. I liked, which Star Wars did I like? I thought Rogue One was okay. The ending scene with not Star Wars, but with Darth Vader saved it. But that new trilogy was fucking some of the worst cinema in the last 20. Like the first one was okay. It was like a 6 or a 7. But then they played my nigga Finn. Never became a Jedi. Was it the second one where Princess Leia was like floating in space with the Force? Get that shit the fuck out of here. And then I fell asleep during the third one. That shit was just god awful. And then we got to look at the TV shows. Mando season 1 and 2 were good. But then season 3, a lot of people didn't like it. It's been kind of shaky. I thought Ahsoka was okay. More so for Baylan Skoll than Ahsoka itself. But a lot of people did not like Ahsoka. Oh, Kenobi, I forgot. I'm not gonna lie, Kenobi's forgettable, kind of mid too. It was like a 6. When it comes to Star Wars, I would say overall they haven't been dropping trash, but it hasn't been particularly good either. It's just been kind of meh. And then we take a look at what's happened to Marvel after Endgame. They saw how much money they made with Infinity War and Endgame, and they was like, oh, the movie theater the fans are going to go watch anything, and they just started pumping out TV shows and movies. And after Endgame, we got some of the worst television we've ever seen with She-Hulk. Fucking She-Hulk. Oh yeah, I'll give him Andor. Yeah, Andor's good. Andor's good. I take that back. I would still say they have more misses and more mid than good, but yeah, y'all right. I'll give you Andor. You said what about the Clone Wars? What about the Clone Wars? Wasn't that before Disney acquired them? That shit is old. Yo, shout out to OG Jesus with the sub. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, let's not give corporations credit that they have nothing to do with. Because I remember the Clone Wars, that shit came out when I was like in high school. That shit's old. A lot of you niggas just watched it because it's on streaming services now. But yeah, a lot of the Marvel shows have been terrible. The movies have been terrible. So it's like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, Epic's gonna get more money, but what are they gonna do with it? You know, this could go either way. I wouldn't get too excited. I would say this is a yellow flag. I wouldn't put this under red. Yeah, it was like 2005. I was 15 in 2005. You niggas giving Disney way too much credit. I would put this under yellow flag. Let's wait and see what they do, because it's cool that they're gonna be able to make more games with Epic's engine under the Disney banner, but like, how much of is it? Are we getting more Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Or are we getting some other shit, you know? That's what I want to know. We gotta wait. I wouldn't get too excited about this. I would wait and see. Especially because Disney seems kind of clueless about the direction they want to go with a lot of their IPs, and they also tend to milk them. It's cool we can get more, but I don't want these things to get milked. I want good quality products. And then here's another thing too. They put $1.5 billion into Epic. I wonder how much, it doesn't state in this, how much of the company do they own now? Because I know Tencent owns a piece of, Tencent part owner of Epic Games. So for those unaware, Tencent is, yo, shout out to Dark Soul with the sub, appreciate it. Tencent is an investment company out of China, probably the biggest, and they own a lot of gaming companies, including pieces in Activision Blizzard, I believe, Ubisoft, and Epic. So my question is, how much? What the fuck? Yo, Ronan, why did you fuck up the poll, bro? You put 41,000 channel points on a damn vote. Can you stop, nigga? God damn, bro. The channel. This is why it's hard to be a game developer. It's hard to do anything because you have to take things into consideration. I left it open for people to use their channel points. So if you wanted to like put in like one extra vote, maybe two, cool. This nigga dropped 40,000 channel points on votes to just supersede everybody else's vote. You just ruined the poll, dog. Jesus Christ. Now I gotta make another one. I'm gonna have in poll. Oh my God, man. Anyways, what I was about to say. Political Ronin, right? What was I about to say? Yeah, Tencent owns, oh, is it right here? Well, no, okay, they own 9%, Disney. Tencent owns a piece of it. The point I'm trying to make is, now there's multiple companies that own pieces of Epic Games, which to me means, and these are all mega corporations, it also means that they're going to be more data driven than ever, and that could fuck up with the quality. That could fuck with the quality of the game. Yeah, this nigga ballot stuffed on a damn Twitch poll. That's crazy. Tencent's going to want to make sure they get their return. Disney's going to want to make sure they get their return, and that could lead to a lot of bullshit being released. And that's why I said I would put this in a yellow flag. Getting vibes, Epic Games, you know, you live long enough to become the hero type beat. Because they got a lot of hands. They're artists and they got a lot of hands in their pockets. And I feel like their trajectory and their thought process has changed a lot since the success of Fortnite. Like, everything is just money driven, you know? Like, let's not forget the artistic, incredible game that was Paragon that got killed by. I don't think we're going to see any more Paragons from Epic Games is the point I'm trying to make. And that's why I said this Disney thing could be bad, because instead of getting another Paragon, we could be getting fucking, what was that game we were talking about the other day? Star Wars Hero Shooter. Switch. What was that shit called? Star Wars Hunters. We could be getting another Star Wars Hunters, which this looks like not terrible, but really mid. It's like Overwatch with Star Wars characters. No, Outlaws is the Ubisoft game. That like this game 100% feels like it's just kind of designed for mobile to kind of drive up revenue. This would be a great video because you having the opposite opinion. Wait, oh, that's interesting. Like, I'm not mad at anybody who has the opposite opinion. So, like, do you feel like, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't on social media yesterday. I was with my boo thing. You know, I'm off my phone when you're with somebody, you got to be with somebody. You feel what I'm saying? Like, be in the moment. So like, I didn't really have my thumb on the pulse of like the internet. What was the general consensus when this partnership was announced between Disney and Epic? Do you feel like a lot of people were super excited? Because I genuinely didn't know that. That's just my initial dial. I was like, I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying I don't know where this is gonna go. Maybe a brand new AAA Disney game. No, nigga, not a AAA new Disney game because they want to use them IPs. General sentiment is I think people like it. Okay, that's crazy. I mean, because if I go on YouTube, I bet you I can find a plethora of go woke, go broke ass videos about the state of Star Wars, and I think what Disney needs to. Oh, no, Epic. They gotta come out and say what studios are working on these games, or like I don't know. Didn't Disney make a racing game that flopped? Yeah, it kind of went under the radar. It was pretty good, but it had too many microtransactions. I think that it's a good thing that you're talking about it. It might not be good. That's also fair too. True. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the direction of where this is gonna go, because like Disney, in my opinion, has a bad track record right now. Sora is in Fortnite. That's all I care about. All right, buddy. Shout out to Donatello with the sub. What Disney's big bet on video games means for Microsoft and Apple. This hit my not my sub box, but my algorithm this morning, and I was like, oh, let me save this and watch this on stream. Can I say I like this? I feel like this doesn't happen a lot, but like mainstream media is talking about games. This is how you know these motherfuckers is making money. Mainstream media is talking about games now.
Next gen in the gaming world, you're talking about the next big console release, but right now
some of these go woke videos are corny with no real arguments. I'd argue most of them are. We've reached a point where like anything that has a woman or a person of color or somebody gay is considered woke now. Like to the go woke, go broke crowd, it's the hilarity in itself is they claim their argument a lot is that people are drones that don't think like they do, failing to realize that they come across as a drone because all they do is regurgitate stupid talking points. To these people in their brain, a black person just can't exist. Now, do I think there's some truth to it? Like, yeah, there's been a lot of bad writing. And like I even used, like me and my lady, we're watching on Netflix, Griselda. It's a drama. It's kind of like Narcos with Pablo, but it's about Griselda Blanco, which for those you aren't aware, that's what Griselda Records is based off of. And she's one of the biggest coke dealers in like the 80s, right? Really good show. We were watching Echo, and I was criticizing the show while we were watching it, because I'm like, when I was watching Echo, I was like, their heart's in the right place, but I was like, the storytelling and the pacing, like the writing is off. And I was like, if I was the writer, I was like, I would have did it this way, this, that. She's like, we can't do this, Native American representation. I was like, yeah, I feel you. But I was like, also the writing needs to be good. So now when we're watching Griselda, I'm pointing out to her, because like the first episode was fire. We're like on episode 4 now. The first couple episodes was fire. And she was like, I really like this show. And I was like, you see, I was like, a woman can be a strong lead, but it has to have strong writers too. And like, that's across the board, whether it's a man, a woman, whatever, black, whatever. But I was like, this is an example of what I mean. Cause I was like, I didn't have any criticisms of Griselda. That shit is fire so far. You said, isn't your girl Native also? Yeah, she is. So that's why I was just trying to like use those kind of examples to point out to people instead of like yelling. But yeah, a lot of these go woke broke people are fucking drones. An example too of this shit is like, look at this shit, bro. Me and Ethos were laughing the other night, right? So I changed the thumbnails. On these videos right here. I changed the thumbnails on these 2 videos right here. Shit I don't like about Baldur's Gate 3, and then the cringiest Baldur's Gate 3 opinions. The original title was the worst takes on Baldur's Gate 3. But like, I was just like bored. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put woke in the thumbnail and see what happens, bro. Like a week ago, this video was at like 20,000 views, bro. I put Boulders woke in the fucking thumbnail, and I put a pink haired goblin And that shit doubled in fucking views like in a week, bro. Like it's the trajectory's like going up. And the same thing with this video. I thought I put a black guy in there and put boulders woke. Niggas be clicking that shit. I'm like, you people are such drones. It's such bait, bro. So it's like that's what I think is funny about those people, bro. But is there some truth to some of their arguments? I believe so, but I also believe the truth is in the middle. I gotta watch Griselda now. It's a really good show. I like it so far. Well, let's see what's woke now. Let me get back to what they was talking about. My bad. I went on a tangent.
Might be getting a teaser for the next gen of the entire industry. Disney investing over $1 billion in Epic Games, one of the most impactful investments from a traditional media firm getting into the gaming space yet. Is it too little too late? And with that money comes Disney's massive library.
The only thing that sucks about that is you're going to get those red pill losers in your chat. Debatable, because I mean, it's bait, but then like once you watch the video, it's very clear that like that's not my mind frame. And then also sometimes like people might come in here, you clown them, give them a different perspective. One of the biggest issues is a lot of people live in echo chambers. And then another issue is instead of taking the time to talk to people, people often ridicule and put others down. And it's like, yo, if you really want the world to change, unless you say something like absolutely crazy, like usually I'll crack a joke and I'll be like, I don't agree with that. Just to give them like a different thought process, like that could be the cog in their mind. Because a lot of people are just lost. Like a lot of people are sheep. Sometimes they need to push in a different direction. So it's about how you approach the situation.
Growing that the console wars could finally be over. Xbox seemingly giving up on title exclusivity. But could Microsoft just be gearing up for a new war, one over content distribution? Here to discuss.
I saw a TikTok. So content distribution. I'm glad he said that. Whole time I thought the rap group Griselda had a show out. Nah. She's a Griselda Blanco was probably like number 2 to Pablo Escobar. She was one of the biggest coke dealers like in the 80s. And she was known for being notoriously violent. She used to like hire hitmen to get on bikes and do drive-bys and shit. Like she had Miami going crazy. Really good show. Anyways, what was I about to say? Content distribution. I'm glad he said that word because I saw TikTok like 2 days ago and I didn't even think about it. It was a guy, he was talking about his theory about what Xbox is about to announce. Everybody's like, you know, panicking about them getting out of, you said it's fictional. It's a true story. Like that actually happened. She's a real person. That's what the record is. The show is like a dramatization. So like, it's more entertaining, but like she's a real person. Thought she was the inspiration for Scarface. I don't know. What am I about to say? I saw a TikTok and he was talking about, everybody's talking about them getting out of the console race. But he was like, I think they're trying to become a content distribution system, something akin to Steam. I was like, I didn't even think of that. So it's funny he said that. So it must be other people thinking the same exact thing. How do y'all feel about that? What if they do get out of the console race, but it's not because they're bowing out. It's because they're pivoting and they're changing their game plan from console manufacturing to becoming a content distribution system. And what he was saying is, the way they're going to try to go at Steam's head is, and remember, this is all speculation. None of this is true. The way he thinks that they're going to try to go towards Steam's head is they're going to use Game Pass. Cause like the first thought is people are going to be like, well, why would I download the Xbox app when I already have Steam and I have all these games? Because there's Game Pass plus you can buy the games and Steam doesn't have that. I was like, that's an interesting proposition. And I could actually see it working, especially if they can get Sony on board and get their fucking games and shit like that. So I'm like, this could end up being a Microsoft W. The Xbox may not exist, but the brand, and then it makes sense too, because at the end of the day, Microsoft is Fortune 500, one of the most powerful countries. Well, they have enough money to have a country. One of the most powerful corporations in the world. One thing I know is they like making money. The thing about console hardware manufacturing is it doesn't make a lot of money. And that's every generation. That's every platform. They usually sell consoles at a loss in hopes that they make their money back with software. What if Microsoft's idea is they say, fuck it. Let's get rid of the hardware. We're losing money off of that. Let's become a distribution platform. I know. And then also developers here's another reason why it could work. This is another reason why it could work. A lot of developers have beef with Steam right now because Steam takes a 30% cut. Now imagine you're a small studio who's just getting by, trying to get to like your next game so you can maybe blow up. That 30% is a lot. That's why Epic Games got into games distribution with their storefront. What if Xbox comes in and says, we only taking 10%? Plus they got Game Pass. They're way down. I was like, huh. I was like, that's an interesting theory. We'll see.
All of this is Brandon Ross.
I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm just giving y'all some food for thought.
Partners and our Steve Kovac also joining us on set.
Just got a PC so more competition keeps the prices low. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I saw a lot of people in the comments too. I swear I'm going to play this video. I saw a lot of people in the comments of the TikTok like dismissing what the dude was saying. I already have Steam. I'm like, yo, I already have Steam too. But what you just said in the chat is good. Is exactly what is a good thing. It increases competition. That means there's going to be more Steam sales. There's going to be Xbox sales. If they come in on the distribution front, they're going to compete. That's going to be good for you, the consumer. Interesting.
Steve, why don't I start with you? Why don't you take the Disney...
It would just be annoying to have to download another launcher.
Tell us what they're doing, what this is going to enable them to...
And then he was also saying, imagine they take that distribution platform and it's not just on PC, but it's available on PlayStation and Nintendo. That's what he was saying. I was like, that's far-fetched. That's a Hail Mary, but that'd be a crazy play.
Why they haven't been more forthright or forthcoming in gaming to this point?
Yeah, this is let me tell you a story of two Bobs.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Bob Chapek,
teaching me a lot.
to Julia Boorstin back in 2021 when he was CEO of Disney. Julia very smartly says, "What's your metaverse strategy, Mr. Chapek?" His answer was Disney Plus. Let's fast forward to what Mr. Iger said, the other Bob, said yesterday. Well, we see an opportunity in gaming and these interactive environments. We understand that we have this great IP that we're already licensing to gaming companies. We're licensing it to Sony for Spider.
Where does consoles go? I don't know. Everything changes. Everything evolves eventually. Remember, Blockbuster was the biggest thing in the world. Then Netflix came out. Like I said, I think the natural evolution is an all-in-one, but that might not be the thing. It could be streaming, but like the internet infrastructure is not there yet. Across the world, most people still have really slow internet. I don't know, but it's gonna evolve in some way. Like the way we see the world now will not be necessary. May not be the case in 10 years from now. Matter of fact, I'll give you a good example. Yesterday, I went to Trader Joe's. I got my Trader Joe cherry popped. I was with my lady, and we're leaving Trader Joe. And New Edition came on. She played the music. New Edition came on. It was Mr. Telephone Man. There's something wrong with my line. Now, because I'm 33, I love New Edition also. I understand the concept of the song. But I had pointed out, I was like, yo, it's really interesting to listen to this song in 2024. Because I'm like, if somebody who's Gen Alpha listens to this song, they might not even understand it. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line. I try to dial my baby's number, but I get a click in return. And then I was like, the concept of calling the operator doesn't exist anymore. And that's what I mean. The world changes. And eventually new generations come along and old things get phased that are upheld by the older generation, but then the older generation dies. So the way you see consoles, is the point I'm trying to make, may not be the same way 20 years from now. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everything evolves. As much as I love the NES, the controllers, them sharp ass corners used to cut your hands. Or the N64, that shit would fucking destroy your palm when you play Mario Party. Everything evolves. Everything evolves. When does Gen Alpha start? I don't know, but I do think it's funny they call it Gen Alpha and them niggas is all weenies. But I don't know the answer where it's gonna go.
And gobs of money.
But it will change.
With Fortnite, which Epic Games makes, licensing our characters and IP to them. This is just going to expand that and create this kind of flywheel for our customers to have new ways to experience it, sort of like they experience it in a theme park, a Disney theme park. You go and experience the IP there. It has this positive flywheel effect. That seems to be what they're going at. $1.5 billion investment from Disney. Iger, the second Bob.
Bob number two.
Bob 2 said.
Oh, them Disney stocks is surging. The investors is excited. They said, we got Epic Games. I will say in the short term, what this means is expect more Disney characters in Fortnite. Whatever's not there, just expect them to be there. And I'm talking about the most minuscule shit. The most obscure ass Disney characters are about to be in Fortnite.
Or who was really the first Bob?
Who was really Bob number one, if you want to. Yeah. Anyway, he said, he basically said, look, this is where, we're investing in.
When do you think Nintendo will leave the portable console idea behind? I feel like not many people take their Switch outside the house. it's not about you. Most people love the Switch, dog. I think they got at least one more in them. There's going to be a Switch 2, and then maybe they might pivot to something else. But I will say one thing that'll never change about Nintendo, because it's their whole design philosophy, is Nintendo consoles are always going to be more underpowered than the latest Xbox or the latest PlayStation. I forgot where I read it, but it's like one of the OG Nintendo presidents. They always build things with weaker parts because then it makes it cheaper for the consumer, and then they can turn a profit quicker. So like that's one thing that they'll never change.
Unclear though how
and
much
portable's kind of part of that.
As a private company,
if it's portable, it's going to have weaker
also
specs.
Maybe one other potential headwind here. They made the point yesterday, Disney did, that 3 billion gamers in the world. Well, most of those are
they're the only console selling at a profit.
Right now, Epic Games is in a massive battle with Apple, where the most lucrative game spend on mobile happens. So the big question becomes now is how Disney plays along with that, with Epic effectively out of the App Store at the moment. So there's some questions how this could work on a massive scale.
Let's bring in Brandon.
Let me bring on my podcast notes. I'd be forgetting to update this shit. We need to put that on there. Let's see. Disney buys into Epic Games.
Brandon Ross now to kind of talk a little bit more about the dynamic.
Yeah, I seen that, Ronan. I'm definitely watching that shit. The Nickelodeon shit.
The state of play right now. Is this going to be
the state of play?
Brandon, a game changer for Disney. Can this fuel the next leg of growth?
Yo, what's going on with my man's camera? Is he talking through a fucking Apple Vision Pro?
Enough that will get some of these activists involved in the company to say, okay, maybe things are going in the right direction.
Look, if you go back to what happened in the streaming wars, Disney was late to compete with the likes of Netflix. And Bob...
This nigga does not want to be at work today. He's definitely on a Zoom call, and he has like one of those backgrounds, those AI backgrounds in the back, and somebody is behind him with a gun behind his head. You better answer that fucking call.
Iger has realized the mistakes that he's made in the past and wants to move Disney forward now, probably with a lot of activist pressure to where media is going. And that is very clearly a 3D interactive world. We could see what's happening on Roblox, which is putting up, 20% year over year compounded growth in users and time spent, because younger generations are hanging out and socializing in 3D worlds. And Iger needs
the metaverse.
To be part of that.
Brandon, we talked, let's switch a little bit to Microsoft.
He's making the argument Disney's trying to invest in the metaverse.
Microsoft and the console wars, Dom set it up, Atari versus this and so on and so forth.
Disney did shut down their gaming division in 2016, so it's interesting they're eyeing on gaming again. I forgot that happened, and that wasn't that long ago. So that is actually very interesting. They shut down their gaming division only to invest in another. And this is why I said this could be a bad thing. Because if it's, shout out to Glad Careful with the sub. This is why I said it could be a bad thing, because if they're willing to shut down a whole division like that, like at the snap of a finger, who's to say they couldn't do the same thing with Epic or some shit like that? You see what I'm saying? Like their heart is not in it. Like the day Zuckerberg announced Facebook streaming, Facebook gaming, motherfuckers like, you gonna go try that? No, nigga. Because I don't believe his heart's in that shit, bro. And that shit does matter. Like, that's that human element. And Facebook offered me a lot of money. I'm not going to lie. A lot of money. But I'm glad I didn't take it, because it would have fucked me over in the long run.
What's going on there, and what is Microsoft likely to do, and why?
Yeah, so Microsoft has been getting killed on Xbox by PlayStation.
What up, Cammy?
This has been going on for years, but has been especially evident in this cycle. I think last year, PlayStation sold double the amount of
Remember the Google Stadia? Their heart
than
wasn't in it?
Xbox. So Xbox has kind of given up and said, look, we want to be, again, like Iger, moving to where the puck is going. We want to be ready for the next generation of distribution of this content.
See, they need to bring me on. What he said is kind of problematic. He said Xbox gave up. Nigga, you're about to get fired. Because that's not true. I can't stress enough, whenever I talk about this stuff, I always say speculation, not confirmed. Like, you can speculate about a lot of it, but he's like, Xbox gave up and da-da-da-da. No, they didn't. We haven't had the meeting yet. We don't know exactly what they're going to do. This is all speculation. This man's getting on national television. About to get a catch a lawsuit from Microsoft.
but has been especially evident in this cycle. I think last year PlayStation sold double the amount of units.
You think? You're on CNBC. You should know.
Did Xbox. So Xbox.
You think it's for a Twitch stream?
Said, look, we want to be, again, like Iger, moving to where the puck is going. We want to be ready for the next generation of distribution of this content. They believe that is in subscription, and it's also in the cloud, where they're very strong. Unfortunately, subscription really hasn't taken off the way they imagined yet, and they have a lot of first-party IP. So what do they need?
For real, an Xbox handheld would be awesome with Halo on the go. He said, I'm gunning for this man's job. I'd gladly take it. I've always said an Xbox Super Smash Bros. Would be fire. Master Chief versus a Forza Lamborghini. That should be fucking fire.
They need to make money off that. So putting their games on others' consoles is a way to kickstart that and buy them some time and hopefully expose the new players.
Lamborghini's taking it 2-1. Nah, you wrong for that. Nah, deadass, who would be in the Xbox Smash Bros? You got Forza, Halo, Gears of War. Like, who would Marcus Phoenix verse? The fucking Jeep in Forza? Like, who's he fighting?
By playing,
Fable? Yeah, you got Fable, okay. Scalebound.
And that is that we're going to a platform agnostic.
No, Scalebound wouldn't be in the Xbox Smash Bros. Because it never came out. Instead, they'll make it a trophy. Because you remember how they used to do that in Super Smash Bros? Melee, they had like a bunch of trophies of like games that never came to America or like never came out and shit.
Yes and no. If Microsoft, as expected this week, also we're running out of week from them to announce this, but they said they were going to announce it this week, does what we think they're going to do and say, you know, we're going to take some of what we're
What did he just say?
Kickstart that and buy them some time by playing Game Pass.
Is that we're going to a platform agnostic world?
Yes and no. If Microsoft, as expected this week, also we're running out of week from them to announce this, but they said they were going to announce it this week, does what we think they're going to do and say, you know, we're going to take some of what were previously titles you could only play on Xbox.
I thought he was saying that like Xbox said they were going to like announce it. Like, we still don't know what they're going to.
Now
he worded it kind of weird.
Competitors' machines, sure. Sony's not going to do that, though. Sony's the market leader because it has those exclusive titles. And, oh, by the way, this is like one of the core arguments the FTC had when they tried to bust up the deal between Microsoft and Activision, saying Microsoft is just buying Activision so it could...
Call of Duty,
put Call of Duty, take it away from all these others. Microsoft from day one said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. FTC, you know, today... they
Which makes me think maybe it is true. Maybe they are going after... Shout out to Gree with the sub. He's not wrong. From day one they always said we're not taking Call of Duty away from other platforms. So maybe their end game is distribution. Maybe it's the polar opposite. People thought that Call of Duty was going to be an Xbox exclusive when they're trying to make it readily available for everybody easily.
They would say they weren't really arguing it, but they were, and they said it's about.
I think the exclusive argument on why PS5 sells more is bad faith. I think there's some truth to it, but then also, because I think also one of the reasons why PlayStation sells really well too is PlayStation just has a really strong fan base. Like the hardcore fans, those are some of the weirdest niggas on the internet that just be in Twitter spaces debating dumb shit all the fucking time. I think that plays a role too. They have like a cult like following, the Sony ponies. But yo, shout out to Dion Vor with the sub, appreciate it. But in his defense, I'll say the reason why you can't bring that up in a talking point is you got to keep in mind when you're like on mainstream television, you got to break things down for middle America. You got to break things down for people, I don't even say middle America, people who are just trying to who are at work, who are on their way to work, maybe listening to a video. You got to keep it simple. This video is not really for hardcore gamers. This is for like the everyday person.
Cloud gaming. So let's get into what.
So there's no reason to bring that talking point up. Exclusives is easier to understand.
So it doesn't matter what you have, as long as it's a thing with a screen that can connect to the internet, you're going to be able to access.
To buy that title.
Stream it.
Or stream it.
You pay $20 a month or whatever they end up charging for it. And you can stream it to anything. Subscription. Yeah. Netflix for gaming. That is where they think.
See, like he kind of knows what he's talking about, but like the guy that's interviewing him, oh, Xbox subscription, yeah. This guy has no clue what he's just talking. Yes, he's just that. So like if you want to learn something about socializing and social cues, a key sign someone either doesn't understand what you're talking about or is not listening is they just repeat the shit you say. Yeah, Xbox is great because it has exclusives like Zelda and not. First of all, that's not even true. You'll say some bullshit. They'll be like, "Yeah, Xbox exclusives. Yeah, Xbox exclusives." Just repeating like a
But
fucking
technically,
parrot.
it's not there yet. You can try it now. It's kind of janky. It's slow. It doesn't work as well with gaming yet. It'll get there eventually. And the belief is it could be beginning of the end of the console wars.
You still either need a controller.
The console
or
wars
VR
is
head.
the console wars are not going anywhere. As long as there are different platforms, there will always be a console war. Because motherfuckers are weird.
At some point to do all these
Exactly. But
things.
controllers are $50, whereas consoles are $500. So.
All right, Brandon Ross, Steve Kovac, thank you both very much for that conversation. Maybe they're not over just yet, but they're getting perhaps closer.
But help me out here. They're putting $1.5 billion into an existing franchise, which they already do licensing. How do they actually expand that investment? They already have several game companies that they've tanked. Lucasfilm Interactive. It just feels like they can't stop buying stuff for high prices. Where's the return? And that's why, exactly what I'm saying. I said, I guess the general consensus is people are excited about Disney buying them. I'm like, this is kind of like a yellow flag. They don't have a great track record. What are they going to do?